Hey everyone, Tony D with a lamp video. Antifa is back, and this time in DC, mostly, they had to fight the Proud Boys. Now, if you want to see the videos, I don't really want to show them for a lot of different reasons, mostly because YouTube will probably, cut down on my ads and de-rank me or whatever. So, they're also a bit gruesome. It got really ugly. People got bloodied. People got stabbed in Washington State. Someone got shot. It's escalating. It's escalating pretty good. Now, as Tim Pool points out, the Proud Boys are, they're stronger. They're physically more imposing than 99% of the Antifa guys. The Antifa guys are made up mostly, first off, there's a lot of women. And they're also, for the men, a lot of what people commonly call on the internet soy boys. And these are white progressive guys who are, mostly white progressive guys, who are physically not so strong. They're not working out all that much. They're college kids. They play video games, they get high, and they read a lot of communist BS on the internet. They also think they're entitled to a free ride, and people who are think they're entitled to a free ride are generally too lazy to work out. The Proud Boys, on the other hand, tend to be made up of guys who have or want to have families, military, ex-military, cops, or cop wannabes, and they generally work out all the time. And the difference between the two, the Antifa guys will say, oh, they're a bunch of fascists and racists. Well, first off, they're not racist because most of their ranks, or a lot of their ranks, are made up of people of all different ethnic persuasions. The leader of the Proud Boys is a guy who is Afro-Cuban. He's Cuban and he's black. So that's not really a factor. If they're fascist, to be fascist, you have to be part of the state, and they're a private organization. They're basically a club. You might be able to weakly argue that they act like fascists. They're more of a gang. But they tend not to be looking for trouble. Tend not to. Once in a while they do. They also are not looking to burn down cities and hurt people. They are generally looking to protect people, but not Antifa. Antifa they're looking to cause as much mayhem and destruction as possible, because ultimately they think that can bring about the toppling of the state. And with the toppling of the state, they will somehow usher in communism and then profit. What they don't understand is the toppling of the state would mean that those cops that end up protecting them half the time from groups like the Proud Boys, or just randos who finally get pissed off and draw a gun, when they don't have a big mob to protect them, they won't be around. There'll be no cops. And what that'll mean is pretty much chaos, right? So even within the Chaz and the new woke-tarded Chaz too, people are already starting to fight. That's what happens when it's completely lawless, and then you advertise it, right? The idiots in Antifa aren't trained and don't have any facilities in order to police their own areas, even if they wanted to. Right? So if you were going to set up an Antifa commune and say, well, these are the rules and you have to follow them, it's kind of hard to enforce them. Because first off, the rules make no sense, right? They want to abandon capitalism and usher in a system in which everybody is like perfectly equal. But they already have so many inequities amongst their members that they can't even crunch the numbers to even attempt to make that work. So they default to, well, we're going to let black voices be heard because they're also sort of linked hand in hand with BLM. And then BLM tries to do some stuff, but they're a bunch of Marxists too. So mostly it just turns into, well, here's my grievance. And I'm angry because of this, and this shouldn't happen. And okay, then what? I mean, these people don't actually have a system to run things. You know, they say things like, well, this is what should happen. See, this is what should happen. See, cops should not immediately shoot people and talk to people, and then, you know, people wouldn't get shot. See, that doesn't always work. You know, cops, I mean, it's every conceivable confrontation you can imagine. Sometimes cops talk to people, and most times it goes perfectly normal. And people go, well, I'm sorry, I did X, Y, and Z. And the cop goes, well, you know, be more careful next time. Nobody got hurt, so on your way. That's like 99% of the interactions with most cops. The other tiny percentage is a real crime. I mean, you know, and then it's like, well, that's the part that Antifa never addresses. So if you live under an Antifa system of communal property, well, how do you decide who's stolen from who? You can't really. So if you're, I don't know, ironing your clothes, and then you're in the middle of it, and then you, I don't know, go to the bathroom, and then you come back and the iron's gone, and then I'm across the room ironing my clothes, and you go, wait a minute, I wasn't finished. And I go, F you, I have the iron now. How do you settle that dispute? There's no, nobody owns the iron, so there's no real way to settle that. If nobody owns the iron, nobody has any real say. You know, and then what are you going to do? Have a trial to see who had the iron first? I mean, it descends into nothing. If in fact you have some kind of ownership, then you can say, well, who does the iron belong to? Oh, it belongs to the first guy. We'll give him back his iron. Obviously. But Antifa doesn't want that. They want communal property. They don't want anybody to own anything. And they think somehow that'll work. They don't understand that these petty arguments will spiral out of control until you have a guy, you know, literally killing each other over a shirt. That's my shirt. That's my shirt now. It's nobody's shirt. We have communal property. Damn it, I love that shirt. I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's the way it's going to go. You're going to have people who have, I don't know, a life, an apartment, and nice things, and then a bunch of Antifa idiots are just going to roll in and take it all. Because why wouldn't they? If there is no private property, why wouldn't you just take what you want? It's not about what you need. See, you can't read somebody's mind. I mean, you could confront them and say, well, do you really need that? And they'll be like, yeah. But you have 14 laptop computers. How do you need that? I play a lot of games. I don't like to, switch computers. I like to have the game running on each one. And then it becomes, well, you don't need that. Well, who are you to say what I do and do not need? So it just disintegrates. Whereas if people own the laptops, well, the person who owns the laptop can do whatever they want with it. See how simple that is, Antifa? They don't get that. They don't get that because most of them either can't afford a laptop because they're homeless and they just sort of got sucked into the mob, and they would never see this video. And the ones that would, well, they've got more than enough money to buy 10 laptops because they live at home and they don't understand how economics or real life works. They're out, you know, in the Chaz 2, whooping it up with the other commies, but then they go home. Okay, yeah, we're fighting capitalism. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And they go to a nice comfortable bed, and mommy makes them a dinner, and how was your day, sweetie? Oh, it was great. We had a great protest at the Red House. I'm gonna go binge watch Netflix now on the widescreen TV in my room, and then play video games until I fall asleep. And I'm gonna get high. It's just ridiculous. We are essentially, flipping the bill for children, teenagers, really. They're teens, and this is what teenagers do. They get mad at things, and they don't really understand them. They just want things to work, and then, you know, they rage. They cause a lot of problems, and then, oh man, I bit my tongue. They cause a lot of problems, and then mom and dad have to either fix it or take responsibility and say, you fix this mess. Unfortunately, that sort of kind of parenting has gone by the wayside for the most part. I think I'll get into that in my other video. But staying on the track with Antifa and the Proud Boys. Proud Boys, you know, try not to be violent. And I keep urging, and I urge them to continue that policy. Continue the policy of protector as much as possible. Do not try to engage these guys, but they're starting to engage. They stole a Black Lives banner and burned it in the street, and they wailed on some Antifa guys. We cannot celebrate this, or the Proud Boys will just turn into the flip side of Antifa, and that could be a very bad thing. Because once they take over, or you know, get the upper hand, there may be abuses on that side. See, power invites abuse. It corrupts people. Right now, Antifa has the power, quote unquote, and they've completely abused it. Oh my God. The abuses are very evident. They're everywhere, you know. And because of that, you know, you wouldn't even have the Proud Boys if not for Antifa. They are a reaction to the Proud Boys. And what you're going to eventually see is everything start to shift. And now when people are sick of Antifa, and they're quickly getting sick of them, these guys are such assholes. And then you see the Proud Boys beat them up, and people go, well, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. These guys are a-holes. And then it becomes cool to be a Proud Boy. And then people join those ranks. And then that becomes the hip thing to do. And then they run out of Antifa guys. And then when you start running out of these guys, well, you have to dig and start hunting down the remaining ones to find one to do something. You have to go to their territory. And then once you've gotten rid of all of them, then you have to start, you know, going after the ones that are hidden and retired or whatever. That's going to be a process, but it's already happening. I mean, the Proud Boys weren't this in the mix 2 years ago. They were barely on the radar. Now they're on a regular protecting the Trump supporters. And they'll probably continue to do that. And they'll probably continue to grow and grow and grow. And the Antifa guys you'll soon see guys from Antifa attempt to join the Proud Boys. Because people are sheep. They really are. They are weak, and they tend to go which way the wind blows. And once the wind blows towards, ooh, it's cool to be a Proud Boy. You know, I never really liked this Antifa movement. I never really liked being a communist. I always questioned it. Always questioned it. Yeah. I think I'm going to go to the Proud Boys and see if they'll take me. That's what's going to happen. So, you know, if you want to check out the videos, they're all online. There's a lot of guys getting beat up. For a BitChute exclusive today, I don't think there's really much election coverage. So there's really nothing to talk about. I think most of this stuff's going to go down on Monday. So no BitChute exclusive today, but, you know, keep an eye out for them in the future. But let's get into another lamp video.